What's up, guys? Good morning. See how many people we get on here this early. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody came. It's like super early. Just talking to myself like a weirdo, trying to get this thing in the damn thing. Is my face super blown out? That's okay. So, I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. I think this is my first live video, so I guess I'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I think there's a comment section, so if you got a question, now is the time to ask. And I think I might do this every morning. I might extend it back to like 8:30 or maybe 9 instead of 8, because I think 8 is a little too early. I'm not even sure where most of my viewers come from. I'm not even sure if they come from like the Pacific side or the eastern side of things. I don't even know if my audience is big enough to really do this yet. Like, kind of curious to see how this will work out. I'm not quite sure how to get... Can somebody comment on here to let me know if because I've never done that. Oh, there you go. Good evening. Where are you from? It's 8 a.m. where I am at. But I'm doing well, a little tired. How are you? No response? Okay. I feel like this is one of those moments where it should like zoom in on my face, and it should be like that I abide in the UK. It's 3:30 at the minute. 3:30, so is that like 4:30? Do you guys work off like I'm assuming you probably work off 12-hour time clock. So are you an audiophile, or are you here for more of my vlog type stuff? Having like a one-sided conversation on a live stream. Sad life. Centered around audio, but do not consider myself an audiophile. Interesting. I think there's a lot of people like that, actually. I think there's a lot of people who are into audio. I used to be like that. I didn't really consider myself an audiophile. Even when I bought like HD 800s, I remember like I just went crazy and was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna buy HD 800s. And I actually hated them. And I was coming from, what did I have? I think I just had the RHA T20Is, and the bass on those was like so intense that that's what I was used to. And this is like back in the day when beats were like the thing to have. And like I didn't know any better. Like I wasn't in the audiophile community. I didn't have any friends who were into audiophile or anything like that. So I bought these HD 800s because I saw like I think it was Unbox Therapy, and he was like, oh, these are like the best, these are so good. And I was like, okay, like I'll buy them, like it's $1,000, but I'll buy them, you know, I'll see. And I hated them, and so I ended up sending them back. And you know, it's kind of funny. But even then, like that's when I really started getting into audio. And then shortly after that, I think about HD 600s, and I liked those a lot more. But for like the first year of me getting into audio, like it was a lot like you. It's like I considered myself just like an audio enthusiast. And that's kind of what an audiophile is. Like, I think a lot of people have this kind of mentality that an audiophile is somebody who is like way over the top. But if you look at the definition of it, is an audiophile is a high fidelity enthusiast. Now, enthusiast covers a wide range of things. So enthusiast covers somebody who, you know, just likes to look at videos about audio, and all the way to somebody who spends like multi-millions of dollars on a stereo system. So it covers a lot of people. And then, you know, high fidelity is just an accurate reproduction of music. So as long as you're centered around headphones and audio that is natural sounding as possible, I would say that you might even qualify as an audiophile. But if you don't want to title yourself, I'm not trying to force you into that or anything. I think it's a very, people try and make it like more of, not really an elitist thing, but they try and make it a really specific thing, because I think it makes people feel special. But it's really, audiophile by definition is a really generic, really widespread kind of identifying feature for a lot of people. So interesting. I just find that interesting. Anybody have any questions or comments that they want me to talk about? Leave them in the comment section, please. I don't know how these like super crazy famous people on YouTube do it, because like if the comment section was just going like off the rails, like I don't think I'd be able to stop and read one unless I can I can read it with my finger. Okay, I do agree. Even though I own a few amps and DACs, LCD 2s, and all the HD 600 line, Bayers X2, and name a few, I'm not one to analyze the graphs and stuff. I like to listen for fun, really. Oh, dude, you're totally an audiophile. Like, you're definitely an audiophile. But like I said, I'm not trying to identify you if you don't want to be that. But like, I don't do graphs. I don't give a fuck about graphs, to be honest, because if I mean, I've heard headphones and speakers that measure really, really flat, and I think they sound like shit. And my goal is never to have something that measures flat. I don't give a fuck about measurements. It's just like in a car. Like, I don't give a fuck about the 0 to 60 time or the max speed. The 0 to 60 time is more usable than the max speed is a lot of times. Like on a Bugatti Veyron, when are you ever gonna go 267 miles an hour? You're never gonna do that. You might go from 0 to 60 a lot. But even still, like track times and things like that, yes, I understand it serves a purpose, but 99% of the people who are driving that car don't, they don't have the capability of reaching that, that car's like maximum capability. Like they're not capable of it. And audio is different because the headphone itself is capable, and like you're talking about different maximums and stuff like that. But a graph only tells half the story. And arguably the more important side of the story is what you like. Really, what are you saying really to? Just write it really quick and I'll read it. It's just been a couple of months getting into this game, and it's gone by so quickly, so it's hard to evaluate and position yourself within the spectrum. Yeah, I kind of feel that you think I'm an audiophile. Dude, I mean, LCD 2s, they're not cheap. Like, if you didn't care about audio, I would say you probably wouldn't own LCD 2s. Like, even if you have a lot of money, which, you know, you have quite a few headphones, so you probably have a somewhat decent income. But even if you have a lot of money, like, it doesn't guarantee that you're gonna buy nice stuff. Like, I know like a multi-millionaire who uses Apple headphones all day long. He just likes the feeling of them. They work for him. He doesn't care about audio, so he doesn't need anything like that. And so, like, you know, it just doesn't doesn't matter. But the game actually is something that I'm going to be talking about in some future videos, regarding like how you should like start small and kind of work your way up incrementally. Because like, let's say you buy ether flows or stacks, or if you're really crazy and you buy like a Sennheiser Orpheus or something like that, where are you going to go after that? Like, get to know the hardware, get to know the industry. Is this really like shaky, or not shaky, but like sketchy video for you guys? Because the feedback on here is kind of sketchy. But I think everybody should like get to know audio as a whole. And you know, biggest part is, honestly, this is a pretty judgmental, what's the word for it? Not industry, but hobby. Like, this is one of the most, like, elitist groups, and I'm trying my best to try and like calm at least my audience down from being like that. Like, everybody's experience with audio is different, and not everybody wants the same goals, not everybody wants the same sound. You know, there's like a big difference of like what a lot of people want, and because of that, people like, everyone's heard the term like perception is reality. And the thing with like eyesight is like, you can see a car and you can have different opinions about the car, but if it's a red car, you both see a red car. With audio, it's different, because with audio, it's like, I listen to a song, I hear one thing in the song, I like that one thing. You listen to the same song, same pair of headphones, you hear a different thing. So it's not like seeing a red car where it's like a direct, like, this is what it is, no matter how you look at it. It's different. It's very subjective, extremely subjective. And everybody's experience becomes their reality. So I think people have like a really hard time collaborating with those differing realities. Like, I think there's a lot of friction between opinions. Like 24-bit DACs are a good example. So me and Z and DMS were talking about 24-bit DACs, and you know, it's possible that some people hear it. Like, it's definitely possible that some people hear the difference, but is the average audiophile going to hear a difference? Are everyone's ears that good? Maybe not. So if you have half the, let's just say, no, this is just for example, but let's say you have half the population who is hearing a difference in a 24-bit DAC and the other part isn't, you're automatically going to have a conflict, because one person is like, yes, this works, and then the other person's like, what are you talking about? No, it doesn't. Like, there's differing experiences, and that's the problem. Is in most other hobbies, everyone can have the same experience, but differing opinions about it. So with like other hobbies, everyone can have the same experience. They can just have different takeaways from it. But with audio, it's kind of different. Like, you have people who, like, the experience itself is different for everybody. So it's like a whole nother level. And there's a few other industries like that, but this one's really bad and growing quickly, and it's not as toxic as I would say it used to be, like back in the 90s. I would say it was actually early 2000s rather. It was getting like really bad, especially with like a lot of snake oil and stuff. Like, a lot of shitty things came out in the early 2000s that were just fake. Like on the podcast, we were talking about a bag of rocks, and these, like, I forget what the name of them was. I'm sure you could find it. But they gave you this plastic bag of rocks that was supposed to like reduce interference or something on your cables, and you would literally tape it to your cables, and it was supposed to give you better sound. Like, it's a bag of rocks. Like, that's ridiculous. It's not going to give you better sound. Like, sorry, it's just not. So having like that being exposed nowadays is, and this is new, like you can still buy this, but having something exposed nowadays like that is way, way easier. And like, okay, are you guys doing testing to see if this actually works? And so people can call things out. But back in the early 2000s, like the internet was still kind of in its infancy. And the internet really allowed for a lot of people to call bullshit on a lot of things. And it's been really integral in doing like a lot of like call outs and making sure that people are staying on point and talking about what matters and doing like justifiable actions and things like that. But yeah, like audio has been in a weird place since the 70s, and I think it's getting better. Like I was talking to a guy who joined my Patreon. I can't remember his name, but he was saying that like he used to be like me when he was younger, but there was a lot less selection when he was out there. And it's true, like there's a crazy ton of selection. Not a whole lot that I would consider to be good, but now there's like, you have certain companies copying other companies and doing like all sorts of like cool things with like playing on magnetics, like the T50RPs, the M560s by Monoprice. Like you're talking about playing on magnetic headphones that are $150-ish. That's really good. That's really crazy. Like it's a weird technology. It's not new, but it's available to the masses now, and it's cheaper than a lot of the mainstream headphones. Like it's the same price as AirPods, and they sound way, way better. I mean, AirPods are different, but you get my point. So yeah, it's kind of a weird industry. Anyways, when this hits about 20 minutes in, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So if anybody has any questions, throw them on there really quick. If you're listening to a song, would you say that you listen to the actual output device or the song itself more? Both. I would say that when I'm, when I'm doing a review or testing something, or like trying to figure out where a certain like headphone or speaker's niche is, I really listen to the device. And that's part of my responsibilities as a reviewer. And also that's part of my tendency as an audiophile. Like when I switch headphones, like, yes, I can listen to the same song, but I'm listening to have that different experience. And so there are specific tracks that I choose to listen to headphones on, and then there are specific tracks that I use to listen to the song. The Marvelettes' Mr. Postman. It's a horrible recorded track, by today's standards at least. I think it was made in the 50s or 60s. And it's not a good sounding song, but I love the song. Like personally, I really, really enjoy the song. So I like to listen to that song to hear that song. And when I'm on my free time, or you know, what I'm considering my free time, and I'm not like analyzing anything and I'm just relaxing, whatever, then I totally just listen to the music. I'm a huge music head. Like I really care about music. I know there's a lot of audiophiles who they care about the equipment, but they don't really care about the music they're listening to. And that's fine, there's no problem with that. Like nobody's obligated to have one opinion or the other, and there's a lot of people who just listen to the music and not the equipment, and that's cool. But I would say that I'm like 50-50. Like I have the responsible part of me that wants to know the difference and wants to know the nuances of the device because I care for the mechanics. And then there's like the artistic side of me that really cares for the music. So yeah, I guess. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So I will see you guys. I might do this maybe next week. I might do it every morning. I don't know yet. I'll see what my schedule kind of looks like, because it's just 20 minutes out of my day. It's pretty pretty easy. So nice talking to you too, man. I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.